Minions, they're a tiny banana-looking, kinda tasty-looking bugs who have the language of a talking XQC, beating him with a hammer, then using a high-pitched voice on him.
They have employees that you get drinks like easy, boom.
But the thing with the minions is that they should be annoying, kinda even tiring sometimes, because their language is just yapping bunch of nonsense. It just doesn't make sense. It's just like gibberish or worse. And their entire character is always just focused on funny haha. There is no like true story to it or anything. It's basically like skibidi toilet humor or brain rot levels of humor. Even though actually not that bad. No, I changed my mind. Yet even then, there is like a couple of people who absolutely hate the minions. They would like destroy them, crush them, kill them. The minions are still dominating the movies. Like the first movie they got introduced in, Despicable Me, made 543 million, basically causing the birth of Illumination and the whole entire reason to why this thing even exists right now. The second movie reached 970 million, then Minions 1.159 billion. I don't know exactly how, but that's kinda crazy. But from here though, even though every single new movie from the franchise, it just like the money kept jumping more and more, kinda just stopped here. The line went wee like somebody died. And that end came after Despicable Me 3, which made 1.34 billion. So the sequel of the Minions movie made 940 million and the fourth movie made 960 million. So as you can see, it's not really a crazy jump anymore. The growth of this franchise has kinda just like flatlined. It's not going up, it's not going really down, it's just going wee. Boom! But I'm not really trying to say that that's a really bad thing though, because like where have they flatlined? It's like right on the edge of $1 billion every single movie. Other franchises, especially like animation franchises, would dream. This is like, you don't understand how crazy this is, insane. But now we're even getting the third Minions focused movie, which is said to be a prequel. A prequel to a prequel. How does that even work? But that's actually why I'm making this video, so we're gonna talk about that. And yeah, even though Minions are supposed to be just a gag funny haha thing, should get annoying after a couple of movies, they have never had a single miss. They have how many movies? They got 4 Despicable Me's and they now have like 3 Minions, not a single miss in any of them. Do you know how crazy, how insane that is? So I want to somewhat do something unique here. First off, we're gonna look into why the Minions are kinda flawed and can get annoying. Then second, why exactly it feels like no matter how many movies, you just grab the movie, take the Minions, slap the Minions on the movie, and it's gonna make $1 billion or close to it. Then we're gonna focus on the new movie releasing soon and the trailer for it, because to me, this one is actually kinda special. So my boys, are you ready? Let's start with the first part. The introduction of the Minions was with Despicable Me 1, which was also the introduction of Illumination as a studio as well, and to many people, especially me as well. This movie right here is still seen as the best cooking, the best crafting that the Illumination has ever made. It was their first and their best. They just started with an absolute banger, 80% on critics and 83% on the audience, while after this just focused on money. Like most companies, I know, but like, come on, man. The first Despicable Me movie was just so much less focused on the Minions or their gags, except like this one scene. And everything, the story, the plot, all of it was just much more focused on Gru himself. Building him as a character, evolving him, giving the guy a proper story arc to go through. Just make you actually care for this guy, actually love him, like see how his mom used to treat him, be like, poor guy, I feel bad for him, go check the board, you can do it. This movie also gave us still the best villain they have ever done. Vector. Perfect. But then the annoying part happened. Every single new sequel focused less and less on Gru or his story and just much more on the Minions. The villains of the movies also started becoming kind of an afterthought after these 2 goats which we got at the start of the franchise. Which both of them became a huge part of the meme culture as well, because they were genuinely funny and fun to follow. But after my boys, we got someone like, I don't know, whatever the hell this is, or a cockroach man. Who the the hell ask for a cockroach man? Villains that not only didn't really become a meme or become iconic in the franchise, they were just forgotten. Nobody even like you went in the movie, you watched the movie, you came out of the movie, you were like, wait, who was the villain? Was there even a villain in that movie? Like when you tell me to, hey, Scyan, name me some Minions villains, you're gonna get names like Vectro or El Macho. You're gonna have not a single soul, not a single real person telling you that Lemal, yes, that's my most favorite villain in this franchise. Oh, wait, Scarlet Overkill, XXX Sniper Wolf looking ass of the Minions universe. Balthazar Brett. The boy looks like his buddies with Epstein. Wait, he's part of the Hollywood and he got his own island. Maybe actually, wait a second. And that's just the problem, my man. When you focus so much in these movies on the Minions, making them funny, haha, making sure that they have funny scenes on the movie that has nothing to do with the story really. When you do that, your villain becomes an afterthought. And when your villain becomes an afterthought, when your villain is just somebody that exists, it's not really like El Macho or like Vectro or those guys, the movie kinda becomes lame and kinda forgettable. These things should be just the unpaid workers of Gru, and that should be their entire story. They should not take over the movies. In the last movie they released, Despicable Me 4, they genuinely had a really interesting, really fun idea to do with him. Gru had actual potential in this movie. I was kinda hyped for it. The idea basically was, who's Gru gonna be tonight? That's the question. The idea of his past and his present colliding together, having a normal life, being a hero, somewhat doing good things, yet on the night time on the other side of the screen, on his other half, his darker half, now he's just going out, stealing bank, maybe killing people, maybe beating people, maybe turning people into ice cubes. It's just like he's bad now. He has an evil half and like a good half. That's like a really interesting idea. But they focus so much on the Minions in this movie, giving Minions like mini short arcs, even like short movies inside of the movie for the Minions, that the idea just basically was like, nah, it was a wasted potential. Instead, they had so many different ideas happening at the same time in the movie because they wanted to do so many different gags with the Minions, like the superhero gag, that the focus on Gru was completely lost. Gru was like an afterthought. The villain was even worse than him. So we had this long of a potential and this little itty bitty of execution. That's what she said. And that's pretty much why the Minions should have gotten tiring and annoying like Grogu. They have just served their purpose, we have seen enough of them, and now they're just taking away the time and the focus we could spend on making a proper story arc to go through for the movies, like the first one, to keep evolving Gru in the right direction or make a new iconic villain in them like Vectro or El Macho. But now on to the second part, why the Minions, they just never fail. I mean, one reason for that is simple, because they're unkillable. Torturing them? Nah. Hanging them? Nah. Shooting them, the bullet is gonna bounce from their bodies and hit you instead. It's just gonna like self-harm, self-shoot. What would that even count? Does that have a word? Tell me in the comments, I wanna know. Throw an entire nuke on the Minions and they're gonna rule over the wasteland and serve under Mr. House. But the real reasoning for this is because they might seem like dumb, silly little bugs, but these things are actually genius. The Illumination somehow managed to invent the infinite money glitch. Like you got the Minions and you say, oh, this movie has a Minions in them, woo, money. Oh, this other movie also has Minions in them, woo, money. Oh, another movie with the Minions, money, money, money. It's fake, don't worry, I don't have money. Give me money, subscribe to the channel, like the channel. But why am I saying that though? First off, let's begin with the design. What do people love? Tiny little itty bitty short things because it's cute. It feels like you can keep them as a pet. Now, what do kids and the younger viewers of these movies like? Vibrant colors that burn your eyes. And Lego is a really appealing color, kinda even nostalgic because of the Lego minifigures. All of them are extremely simple looking yet kinda unique compared to anything else you have seen before. And they're not really generic looking either, they have their own soul and personality to them, kinda. Which this definitely helped hugely onto making the Minions become a huge part of the popular culture. While the design mindset around them also made it extremely simple to make like a billion of these things and try to make every single one of them actually somewhat unique to their own. Like some of them got one eye, some of them got two eyes, some of them are fat, some of them are thin, some of them are tiny, some of them are balding, all of them are balding, but every single one of them are balding in a different way. While yeah, the design definitely was a big part of how they became a popular culture, how they kind of became really interesting, really iconic and all of that, because design matters a lot in that part. But it's not really the main reason why every single movie they're inside of, it makes close to $1 billion. That's not the reason why. I'm gonna tell you the reason, don't worry. That's when I have to give it to the voice and the language they have. Just think about it like this, let me explain. If you make them talk English, who's gonna watch the movie? The people who can think English, the people who can talk English. Only mostly those people can see it. So you got like a limited group of people who can enjoy the Minions. Then you have to also pay for the movie to get dubbed. You need like other language subtitles and everything. Even like the poster for the movies, you have to. I mean the poster even for the Minions, you have to do that. Never mind. But there is just way too many things you need to do to make sure that like this group of people who can enjoy these English-speaking characters, you can make it bigger. You need dubbing, you need subbing, you need all of the other bigging, and that's gonna cost money, that's gonna cost time, and it's not gonna feel the same. It's not gonna be the exact same experience as watching it as the English, because sometimes the dubbing can be worse experience, sometimes the dubbing actually is a better experience. It's kinda random. But Illumination actually got the solution to this, and I really feel like it just have. I don't think they were like they had someone in there in Illumination going brrrr, coming up with the most big brain, the most crazy brain like idea ever. I think they got lucky. But the idea was making up basically a nonsense language for the Minions, which nobody equally understands it. Not the English speaking, not the Chinese, not the Persian, not the German, no one. So all of us, all of every single person who watches this movie equally don't know what the hell is going on, don't know what the hell they're even saying. All of us have no idea. So all of us universally go watch the movie because the experience is the same, and that's exactly why every single time the movie makes $1 billion or close to $1 billion is still crazy to me. How? I mean, I'm explaining to you how right now. Am I kinda stupid? But it doesn't end there though. Now that like you can't really understand these creatures, you don't understand what they're saying, it's not like, okay, that's it. No. You still need to understand what they're trying to do, what they're trying to say. But now instead of talking, you have to do it from other ways, which is also genius. Which those have to be things like non-language visual gags and more. Because a visual gag and a nonsense of yapping is a universal language. Which also means that Minions can be enjoyed universally by everyone. And as I said, that's exactly the reasoning behind why the Minions every single time they make so much money. But again, it doesn't really end there. What is the language of the Minions that they speak in the movies with? It's a total nonsense of ooga booga to like the way your family talks to you when you were just born like a little child, because you haven't developed any like brain cells to understand the normal language yet. Like seriously, just start saying random nonsense right now. I guarantee you it's gonna sound exactly the same as the language of the Minions. Just try it right now. You don't wanna? I'm gonna do it for you. La bidu la bubu, la babi's mamato, shibarambi. But that's also exactly why, again, it just works. For the super young children, it's the way they get talked to until they understand normal language. So it just feels like home to them. And for the adults who watch the movies, let's say it's just nostalgia for them. Because it reminds them of the life when everything was much simpler. There was no taxes, no going to the job, you just existed and you ate and you were kinda annoying. That's about it. Or if they have a kid themselves, maybe even the time where they used to treat their kids with a goo goo gaga language. So there you go. The way the Minions speak in the movies, it can get really annoying. I know you don't understand anything. It feels like you have brain rot. You're developing brain rot. But it's actually kind of genius, because when you think about it, as I said, everybody can like enjoy the Minions equally, and the way they speak kind of bring you nostalgia. And for the kids, it's the way kids got like spoken to. I can't even talk anymore. That's the effect of the Minions. I would basically say that this is the most universally casual friendly thing ever, and the very reason behind the insane success. But now we're in the third part of the video, which is kinda ironic because we're gonna take everything we just talked about and connect it right onto the Minions 3 movie coming really soon. This thing was supposed to be its own single prequel movie to explain what the Minions are, but now it's own goddamn trilogy. How? So I went into YouTube watching the trailer with the feeling of, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay, nothing too special. I mean, especially coming off of Despicable Me 4, I kinda hated that movie because of the insane waste of potential. So I was like, okay, after coming out of that that this is also gonna be it's gonna be meh. But I gotta say, don't kill me, don't shoot me. It was kinda interesting.
No, say the truth, Scyan.
I mean, it was not really bad.
I said, say the truth, Scyan.
It was actually kinda really fun.
Here you go, good boy.
The first nerve, the first electron in my brain, the thing it did when I watched the movie, when I just opened the trailer of the movie, the nerve, the single brain cell went. Wait, did the movies always look this gorgeous? Like, god damn boy. That could also be because of the set designs, how much more creative, colorful and unique looking they are compared to the other ones. But honestly though, Sony has been destroying, smacking Pixar with their art direction, same as DreamWorks, or a random ad in France, or a damn religious movie. Now I would honestly say that even Illumination kinda looks like much more interesting, much more visually appealing than whatever Pixar has recently become. The new Minions movie coming up also seems to have an actual plot and a story to go through in it. It takes place before Kevin, Bob and all of the others because it's a prequel to a prequel, as the plot is that they're all working for a movie director, love the vibes and come up with their own story to tell. But back then in those times there was no CGI, and their idea, their story was basically like a monster fighting movie or something, and monsters in a time in like the 60s or 90s when there was no CGI, how the hell are you gonna do that? How? Just go find real monsters in real life and bring them for the movie. Does that even count as a movie at that point? And the potential on this story arc, this like traveling around finding different monsters, catching them, bringing them for the movie, the potential for this idea is actually crazy. It sounds like such a fun time. But it could also become a wasted potential, just like the fourth movie of Despicable Me. Yet I kinda feel like that's not gonna happen. Despicable Me started with the best movie Illumination has ever made, but every new release, the plot kept getting worse and worse. And a big part of that was because of the fact that they kept just expanding this family of Gru, they kept adding new people, new characters to it, and there is like the amount of characters in the movies is just too much. It started with just Gru and the Doctor and the Minions, then they got the girls, then my man found a wife and he finally got to smash, then a brother, then for some reason he made the baby. You already have 3 girls, why did you need a baby? Can you even take care of them? Do you know how expensive like college or university is? How much money do you have? It even reached a point where the brother of Gru was just completely forgotten in the 4th movie. He didn't even show up, there was nothing. So the amount of characters the Despicable Me movies have to handle every single movie makes it so like focusing on one plot becomes extremely impossible. Especially since they gotta also make solo minion moments for the like the money too. They gotta make the superhero wow, they gotta make the other moments for the minions. So there is just so many plots happening at the same time. There is so many characters and the movies are kinda short for every single one of them to be meaningful and do something interesting. And yes, this is the best movie in the franchise. Also yes, Minions started with an actual nonsense of a really weird movie plot wise. Like the story on the Minions movie, it was basically like, who cares? You're just watching this to turn off your brain and laugh. But the second Minions movie was actually somehow the second best one in the entire franchise when it comes to having a proper story to follow. This arc of helping the old man, and the old man is kinda like Master Chifu style, teaching Gru how to become an actual villain, how to be a cool badass villain. It was genuinely so much fun to follow, especially because there were no girls, no Gru's brother, no baby, no wife. The movie was just focused on the story it was trying to tell and the minions. To focus, and that's it. And that's right there is exactly why I really think that Minions 3 is genuinely gonna be kinda fun to watch, hopefully. I don't know man, let me know in the comments, are you gonna watch this movie or not? As if you know Markiplier, recently he made a movie, and in this video, do you see this video right here? I talk about the Markiplier movie and how this movie is gonna change Hollywood and cinema forever because it's really important. Watch this video right now, it's really good.